Let's talk about what you need to be able to crochet all the awesome beanies in this course. The good news is it's all very inexpensive if you want it to be. You can buy high-end crochet stuff too if you want, but this can all be bought for like 20 bucks. Let's start with a hook. You've got to have a hook to be able to crochet. So the one that I use for most of the beanies in this course is called the H hook. You can see it says H. I might be backwards on the camera, sorry. It's H, it's /8-5 millimeters. So it's a 5 millimeter hook. I would not just buy an H hook because you might crochet more tightly or more loosely. And so you might need to even go up or down a size, and you'll learn how to determine that in this course. I actually like using this F hook to like sew in the ends because it's smaller, it's easier. So it's never a bad thing to have a variety of sizes. So I would buy F through J for the basic beanies. Let me show you the yarn that you'll be using with that type of hook. It is called worsted weight yarn, and you can tell, look for the number 4 right here on the label. It'll say 4 medium on the label. So this is my favorite brand. You have to get it at Michael's. If you don't want to do that, if Michael's isn't a good option for you, here's one that I like that's very, very similar in like consistency and texture. I don't have the label on this one, but this is the Caron, C-A-R-O-N, 1 pound. And I don't think they make this same yarn in a smaller size. I've never seen it because there's a Caron size that's more, a Caron skein of yarn that's like this size. It's called Simply Soft. Hate it. Do not recommend that. So if you're looking for Caron, get the pound. And if I were you, I'd honestly get, if you're gonna be crocheting men's beanies, this is a really good color. This is my top selling color. This is called Medium Gray Mix. So you could get a pound of this gray. Another thing that I like to do sometimes is to make a hat in the colors of a sports team. So like for me, it's the Denver Broncos. I used to live in Denver. And so I have a lot of orange and blue yarn for the Broncos. I will talk more about, in the course about like colors and combinations and some different types of yarns that I have used and liked and have been popular, like when I've sold hats on Etsy and things like that. So the other thing that you might want for this course is another type of yarn, which is called bulky weight yarn. This also is from Michael's. The label says number 5. There's so many colors of this, and it's there's really interesting, like fun self-striping yarn in the, like there's a lot of charisma yarn at Michael's. So I do recommend that. There's also like Lion's brand yarn is another one that I've used and liked that is in bulky. Keep in mind there is also super bulky, and that's going to say number 6 on the label, and I don't have any patterns in this course with super bulky yarn, but by the end of this course you will be able to take any yarn you have and make a hat, and you'll know kind of how to make sure the size turns out correctly, even if you don't have the exact yarn that I have. If you want to follow the pattern and make a chunky beanie with the bulky yarn, you're gonna need a bigger hook. This is an L hook. Then scissors, I always have these little tiny scissors, also got at a craft store in Denver. Then a pom-pom maker, I highly, highly recommend this. You can make a pom-pom without one of these, absolutely, but these turn out so good. It's by Clover. This is, I think, the 3.5 inch one that makes like the perfect pom-pom every time. I love it. And then the last thing I recommend is stitch markers. So there's a couple kinds you can get. This one is a locking one that will really stay in your work. I also use just these that don't lock, that kind of like slide in and out. If you're on a budget, I would say skip the stitch marker, find a paper clip, it'll be fine. But you want something. You want to at least find a paper clip, because that's gonna, I didn't used to use stitch markers. And then when I realized how much easier they make everything, I was like, how did I live without this? So those are my suggestions for your supplies, and I can't wait to get started.